Hello, this is Jockin, coach of the San Francisco Cinderace. Today I would be going over my team builder for my week 3 match against the Seattle Snorlax. It's a tricky matchup for my team. He's got a lot of stuff that scares things that I have. The particularly big problems for my team are going to be the Wheezing and the Chandelure. They both have good coverage, good resistance, ability to dodge things on my team with Flash Fire Levitate. Wheezing almost completely walls my Flygon, which has to come to dodge his respective ground moves from Seismitoad, possibly Snorlax, non-Mold Breaker, Haxorus if he brings that for whatever reason, and then Chandelure completely walls the standard Cinderace set that I'd like to bring, the U-turn high jump kick Pyro Ball set. So it's going to be tricky trying to build around that, but the rest of the team is a decent matchup. I have good answers for Excadrill and Snorlax, as well as Haxorus, Seismitoad, and his C tiers I wasn't thinking he was going to bring any of these. That none of them had an exceptional matchup. Maybe Gallade or Orbeetle, but I wasn't too confident he would bring that, and I mainly built around his top 6 here, being the Gmax, Snorlax, Excadrill, Wheezing, Chandelure, Haxorus, Seismitoad. So let's get into the team that I brought in response. So first up we have my Gigantamax Grimmsnarl. Now he has Light Clay Reflect. This was kind of a last minute addition to the team that I was running. I believe it was Drain Punch up until the last minute, but I was recommended Reflect, and it was a good idea I liked, and put Light Clay on there to help out with it, so we'll see how it works out. The rest of the set's pretty standard. Play Rough for good stab coverage. Bulk Up provides the boosts that help him sweep through teams, and Sucker Punch is there mainly for Chandelure, because without it I don't have a great answer. Flygon takes a lot switching in. Vaporeon can be killed pretty easily with Shadow Ball. Aegislash doesn't want to take fire. Cinderace doesn't have much to answer it, so Sucker Punch is really my best Chandelure answer. And I just have to hope he stays in, goes for a move type deal. It's not a great answer, but it's the best one I got, so we'll see how it pans out. The Force Speed here, if we come back here, he has a few things that I have to be conscious of speed-wise, the main one being the Wheezing. That if he's not invested speed-wise in the Wheezing, then I'll be a 1 speed faster. So not a huge deal, but it might be an extra move if I need to get it off. Now Aegislash. Aegislash is very important this week, can do a lot of work, and the EV spread is somewhat complicated in hopes of dealing with a lot of things. Now, the 12 speed is the same reason as Grimmsnarl. They share the base 60 speed, so they would tie with Wheezing if Wheezing or one of them was uninvested. So the 12 speed is over the 4 here, because I want to ensure that Aegislash is faster, but this is also the minimum investment to outspeed if he has 4 speed EVs. You can see if I put it down to 4, I'm only at 81. I have to invest up to 12 to go up to 82. That way, if he puts, say, HP and defense on the Wheezing and then the extra 4 in speed, I'm still faster than he is. We're running the Akka Berry, which is the half damage from super effective fire type attack, because Wheezing carries Flamethrower and Fire Blast in a lot of scenarios. So it's to help dodge that if I need to come in against Chandelure for whatever reason. Hopefully it doesn't come to that point, but it's a decent way to get some damage off there since I'm not carrying Shadow Sneak. And with the EV spread here of the 184 special attack, a Flash Cannon is guaranteed to one-shot Wheezing unless it's a special defense variant, and then Shadow Ball does a lot of damage. Sacred Sword is here for the Snorlax because he could bring Curse Snorlax, so I normally would run close combat, but the fact that he might be boosting defense means that Sacred Sword is the better option just in case. Moving on to Flygon now. Base 100 is a good speed to have into his team. He doesn't really have anything faster than it. The only thing that's close is Haxorus. And even with this setup here, the only thing that outspeeds me is Choice Scarf Haxorus, and I was feeling more like he would bring Choice Scarf Chandelure. That was what I was predicting, so I feel that this setup allows me to do the most damage while still being faster than a lot of the important threats. Earthquake one-shots the Excadrill, Outrage does a lot of damage to the rest of his team, and I believe one-shots the Haxorus if it switches in. Iron Tail's there for coverage on the Wheezing if Aegislash goes down. That's probably my best way to deal with it. and then U-turn for a pivot if I think he's just going to swap out, or I need to get a little bit of chip damage for something else to come in. And the spread, I honestly don't know why I put 4 special attack. When I was building the team, I had it running flamethrower in some scenarios. I must have forgotten to change it, but I don't think it's the end of the world. It probably should have been in special defense there. Moving on to Vaporeon now. I was debating a lot on what I wanted Vaporeon to have item-wise. I was switching between Assault Vest and Leftovers, and I couldn't make up my mind on what I felt was a better option. I ended up going Leftovers. Assault Vest was safer, that it could switch into Chandelure and not fear the Energy Ball. I didn't want to run Rindo Berry because it was the only thing on the team that would run grass coverage that really scared me, so I didn't feel the Rindo was that worth it. So Leftovers let me run Haze to deal with Snorlax if it was a boosting Snorlax with Curse, or if anything else like a Swords Dance Excadrill was coming, then I would have a good way to deal with that. I had debated on Wish in that slot, but I felt Haze was more important since he had a couple things it could set up. And then Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump, my main stab, one-shots a lot of things that would give me trouble. Shadow Ball, Ice Beam is there for coverage on the Seismitoad because I'm 90% sure he's bringing Water Absorb Seismitoad because he figures I'm bringing Vaporeon, so I had to have some way to hit him, and both of those, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, carrying both at the same time. Shadow Ball ensures I can still do good damage on the Chandelure if it comes in or stays in, and then Ice Beam lets me do decent damage to Seismitoad, Excadrill, those sort of things. My Silvally this week was Flying. Now, even though Flygon is Levitate, if we go back to his team, 2 of the main things that get ground coverage, Excadrill and Haxorus, both get Mold Breaker. So Flygon isn't that helpful in dodging ground coverage this week. So I need Silvally to be there to dodge ground, because otherwise H-Slash and Cinderace get hit super effectively by the ground move. So Flying Silvally, while it's not the greatest offensive choice, it's very useful defensively. Now, EV-wise, I'm bringing a mainly specially offensive Silvally. I still have some attack investment because this special attack was all I needed to do good damage to the Seismitoad, and Flash Cannon lets me do good damage to the Weezing if need be. Now, Parting Shot I brought this week over U-turn because I felt that the drops were a lot more important. Things like the Weezing, while it's not offensive, getting a special attack drop makes it a lot safer for something like Aegislash to switch in on it. So Parting Shot was very nice, and if he does go into something else, like, say, the Excadrill or the Chandelure, it ensures that they're going to be doing a little less damage. So I thought Parting Shot was the way to go, and that combined with Grimmsnarl's Reflect make for a pretty potent defensive sort of style, even though my team is fairly offensive. And finally, my Cinderace. Oh, I should go over speed. This speed 155 is important because max speed Excadrill without Choice Scarf can only go up to 154, so that's just to outspeed the Excadrill with the hasty nature to help make sure I don't have to invest too many EVs to get there. Now moving on to Cinderace. Alright, Heavy Duty Boots, once again, he has decent hazards with the Seismitoad, the Garbodor if it comes gets hazards as well, and Excadrill, so I knew at least one of his 2 Rock Setters would be there for sure, with the possibility of Garbodor or even Sticky Web or Beetle. So I need the Heavy Duty Boots and Court Change once again to help get rid of hazards, and then fairly standard with Pyro Ball, High Jump Kick, but I brought Assurance this week because if he does bring, say, Choice Scarf Chandelure, I will one-shot it with the Assurance because of the double damage, and without the double damage, I believe I still do something like 80% to the Chandelure, and I believe it kills me with a Shadow Ball if it's not faster, because then it's probably Specs. So the Shadow Ball kills, but that would be enough damage to get in something like Flygon if I know it's not Scarfed, or Grimmsnarl to try and get a Sucker Punch off. So the Assurance is very important, because if it doesn't carry anything to deal with the Chandelure, Flash Fire Chandelure completely walls the Cinderace. I either take half damage on the Crashed High Jump Kick because it's a Ghost type, or I give it a Flash Fire boost from the Pyro Ball. So I had to run something. I was going back and forth. Did I want to run Shadow Ball and run a special Cinderace? Did I want to run Sucker Punch on the Cinderace and just have to give it the boost off Flash Fire to try and keep it in? But I felt like the Pyro Ball High Jump Kick Assurance was my best way to deal with everything that he had brought. So I believe this match is going to be tough, but we'll see how it goes. Like I said, if I can get the Weezing and the Chandelure gone, those are my two big threats, and I don't think the match should be too tricky after that. So hopefully I'm able to deal with those pretty well, and we will see you in the battle. I'll have a link up above right now, and hopefully stick around for that one. Thank you for watching.